Now, is this just me being crazy, or I'm just using science to prove this? It would explain Jericho. He would explain it, how they go around and around and around, and then on the seventh day they start blowing the shofar, and they start singing in one voice, in one accord, all at once, right? And they started shouting. And then the walls came down. Why? Because of frequency. You know, heavy metal music is composed at a particular frequency. It's called the devil's tone. You know, Ozzy Osbourne, remember him? In the 80s, he was being sued. They said that his music was causing young men to become depressed and they will kill themselves. Do you know that it's right and they're correct, but they didn't have the research back then? It's true. It's stuff that we're finding out is amazing. Now, why is Yahweh picking me? I don't know. You know, I'm not that smart. It's just that I want to seek out those truths so you can be edified. So when you're praying, you don't think it's just you crazy, you know. Fa, mulitorum famulus, these things. Servants or attendants, especially of scholars or magician, a particular chosen group. That's what Fa is. Now, I remind you that the 144,000 are a chosen group, aren't they? Now, solve polute. Now, utre mi fa sol la. I want to ask you a question. What in the world does the music mode of sol, or in the scale, or whatever it is, says has to do with mikvah, immersion, baptism? Listen to that. It says, to find an answer or an explanation for, clear up, explain, to solve a mystery or puzzle, to work out the answer or solution to a mathematical problem, a cleansing with water or other liquid, especially as a religious ritual. Now, how many of you knew that each of those had a definition according to the Webster's? And how many of you knew that even baptism has something to do with a mode of music? I mean, how come we don't know this now? This is from the Webster's back in the 1800s. And it's 2006, 8/26, the 24th of July. Makes no sense. You wonder, now you understand why some of these things are being kept from us, and why they've tried to kill the Jews and the Israelites and take away the Torah and take away the temple service. You put back the temple service, you are declaring the ownership of Yahweh on the earth and the wonderful things that would happen on the earth if His presence is here with us. The Shekinah on the earth. It is within us, but I'm talking about literally reigning on the earth. Imagine what can happen. Do you think the enemy wants that? Of course not. Okay? Now, here we go. Labium riatum. Pertaining to the lips. By the way, Hebrew language is the only language that you need everything in your mouth to speak. I'm not making fun. It was true. You have to use the top of your mouth. You got to use your gluteal. You have to use everything. Literally, you need to use all of your might to be able to speak the Hebrew. And it's easier for me because I'm Sephardic, so I can pronounce the R's and the ch. I could do that pretty good. I'm not spitting anybody. I'm just, so people say, well, how come you learn it so fast? Well, I don't. I'm Spanish, so it's easier for us, Sephardic Jews. A reverse movement or tendency. An action in a reverse direction or manner. A movement toward extreme political conservatism. A desire to return to an earlier state of system of order. I don't know about you, but the Garden of Eden is definitely something earlier than what we have now. And it's holy. And that's something that every single one of us is desiring to go back to, aren't we? And the music has something to do with that. T. This is really holy. T. A person with exceptional holiness, formally recognized by the Christian church, to acknowledge as a saint. Not. This was put on by the Catholic Church. Some pope had an ego trip. I want a music mode after me. I want the scale to have something that typifies me. So there they are. So they profaned it. See, what was Lucifer in charge of in the heavens? Wasn't it worship? So if you confuse the languages and you change the language, the perfect language, and you change the music and you get everybody out of tune, what's going to happen? Chaos, confusion, anarchy, correct? But what if you put everybody in one accord, one consent, from one goal, one purpose? What could happen? Unity, greatness, set apart. We definitely be the light of the world. Now, what's interesting, I could never want just one. I need to look for two. So in Bullinger's book, Numbers in the Scriptures, think it's called. Anyway, Number in the Scriptures by Bullinger. He has this too. And it's the Easton's 1897 Bible Dictionary. It says, what is the meaning behind the solfa syllables in the universal frequencies? Talking about frequencies. Ut, preparatory tone to prepare the body, soul, and spirit to receive the next 5 tones. Re, tone to begin resonance with the divine resound or valen frequencies. Everybody go like this. Shalom. What do you feel? Isn't that nice resonance right through your body? So you see the Hindus, they go, They're not really crazy. In the Zohar, and the Kabbalists, the really esoteric guys, they call that the power of the mem. They believe that in the mem, there's power and healing in your body. The Hindus believe the same thing, or whatever they practice, that religion. And we find out that miracle, me, actually does have that particular power to do so. Remember what I told you? That every religion has a measure of truth. They have just been profaned it to the other side. So when you go shalom, when you pray, I mean, this is incredible, the stuff that you can do. How come we don't know about these things? So you see, the restoration of the Hebrew language is not something that is happening for you to become a Jew. It has nothing to do with being Jewish. It has all to do about Yahweh choosing you for the restoration of all things so we prepare the way for His coming. It's really what it is. Now, here we go. Me. Tone to begin healing and extraordinary changes, miracles. Fa. Tone to seek out limitations imposed on us as slaves to mindsets. It's interesting that heavy metal music uses that particular frequency. Don't they want them to become slaves to the dark side? So now what if you use it to become loose from that limitation? And you start singing, and when you hit that note, you can conquer the world. Because you no longer have limitations. You've been completely set loose from any kind of chains in your body and your life. You see? That's what we sing unto the Lord. How many of you have been depressed, and then you start worship, and you start singing unto Him, and you start really losing yourself in Him, and then you feel so much better. And you have an experience beyond your imagination. And you even forgot what was going on before. Because of that. The power in the music, the power in the tongue. Soul. Soul is tone to loosen, release, unbind, to untie, open, free, solved, or resolved. Isn't that why we become baptized? To resolve a problem. We were unclean, now we are cleansed. We were an old creature, now we are a new creature. Is this making sense to all of you? Interesting, isn't it? It kind of puts a different spin on doing your prayers every morning. Because now when you're doing the prayers, it's not for you to be all rabbinical doing everything perfect like they do it. It's about you coming into fellowship and a direct communication with the Creator. Just you and Him through His perfect language. The language that He used for creation. Do you realize the honor that it is that He is choosing us for these last days to restore His language of creation for you and me? And you don't have to be a scholar in Hebrew. Just do something. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu. The Shema Yisrael Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. That in itself has something so meaningful. Let me give you an example. Remember when the guy in the Discovery exploded over Palestine, Texas, remember? And you wonder, God, how that happened? Was a little foam that came out? No. See, for the first time in the history of humankind, a son of Jehudah, a Jew from the tribe of Judah, went to the farthest parts of the heavens. They read the Bible in English when the astronauts went into the moon. That's if they went to the moon. You didn't get it. Anyway, let me keep going. So what happens is they read the Bible in the moon, right? But in English. Okay, fine. But you see, this guy did it in Hebrew. He took a copy of a scroll. He read it in Hebrew. He ate kosher. He kept the Sabbath, and he quoted the Shema every morning and every evening.